Hi and welcome everyone. I am Friar Tuck and this is my epoch. So before we get started here, I just I kind of screwed the pooch this morning, and so I wanna make sure that everything propagates out. So what I ended up doing, the mistake I made was I on my phone last night is I scheduled the live stream. Well, because I scheduled it on my mobile phone, it means that I had to do the live stream mobile, and I like doing it on my laptop. So I had to delete and recreate it, and then just transfer the titling and everything like that over. There are some things that are that's going on here. So, anyways. I am giving it a few minutes because it's got to propagate out. It's got to notify you guys of, hey, this is starting, or, so on and so forth. And I know that we got a couple of minutes. And what's going to end up happening here is at 10 o'clock, as I am going to, go ahead and play my intro that I have here. It is actually a pretty dang good intro. So this morning I woke up early and, had some issues. So it looks like I got somebody here in chat. Say hi in chat, so that way I know that you're here. Because I saw a couple of people were already over on my live stream. Excuse me, over on my other, because it just, I don't know, I'm still kind of figuring out the bugs and kind of how to work it, because when you're mobile like I am, you have to kind of get everything together, and you got to do it from one to the other, and some of it, at least with YouTube, doesn't cross-pollinate between mobile and desktop. So this is just my plight for this morning, and for those of you that are joining me here, I want to say thank you. It looks like I screwed the pooch there, but anyways, it starts at 10:30. It says that I'm live now. Let me go check my notifications, because I should have .com. I should be able to see it from there. Just go in and take a quick look. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. Okay. Bushcraft replied, great point. That's one of the perks of stainless steel. Yeah, sterilize them by boiling water. I don't even remember what I said. But anyways, oh yeah, I was asking him about the plastic, because he was showing some bottles there. So if you guys want somebody that will teach you a lot about bushcraft, we have, where'd he go? Oh yeah, sorry, Bushcraft Reloaded. I don't know why I have trouble remembering it. He's one of my most interactive subscribers, next to Hobo Thomas and a couple other guys. So, anyways, I hope I didn't mess things up too much. But we got another 5 minutes. So it looks like that there is somebody in here, or is gone back to the start. There's no need to go back to the start. I will probably edit out the first 7 to 10 minutes once it gets up there and posted later on. Hey, you guys remember my eye? If you saw the last video I did where my eye was all swollen, so like the ducts in my eye got blocked and then it got swollen, and so like my eye was, the morning before, the morning that I did that video, my eye was actually completely shut. So that was a little strange. It's the first time that's ever happened to me. But anyways, guys, just wait for people to come on in, say hi. It says that I've got a viewer, I guess. So let's see here. But anyways, yeah, my live streams are not showing up. Well, I can't subscribe to myself. Oh well. So anyways, let's get back here. And so I have back-to-back live streams. So at about 50 minutes into this, I will have to close out and everything else like that. And for those of you that have any questions, this is the time for you to answer questions. Let everybody get... Oh, crap. So nobody's been able to hear me the whole time? Sorry, guys. Can you hear me now? I kind of screwed that up too. Alright, so again, hi, welcome to the channel. If you can hear me, please say so. It looks like I unplugged my headset here, and I'm just having a heck of a morning to get started. So anyways, for those of you that are here, say hi. If you're not, say hi. And I will be editing like the first 10 minutes of this out. I wanted to get the thing started and get everything going. So let me double check and make sure my sound is working. Okay, audio mixer. Okay, yeah, my sound is working. Let me check up here on applications. Okay, and hi and welcome everyone to my live stream. It will begin shortly. I just wanted to have a little talk with you this morning just to say hi and share with you some of the positive things that do happen as an experience when you are homeless, because it's not all doom and gloom, okay? Or even as a traveler, as a nomad. So yeah, I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning. Yeah, I fell asleep at probably about 7-8 o'clock last night because I was so tired because I hadn't gotten any good sleep in a couple of nights. I don't sleep well in shelters, especially with as noisy as they are. And we'll talk about that during the live stream. But, you know, so I decided to get up and walk down to the local speedway, and because I had enough points, I got a free coffee this morning. And then not only that, I went across the street to the park and had a coffee and a couple of cigarettes and a couple of tokes. And it's still peacefully quiet. It's Saturday morning. Nobody's awake. This is one of the few times where I get to feel like I'm in a big place all alone by myself. And then I just get to stroll down the street and think. And, you know, everybody has the things that they enjoy. But one thing that you'll really learn to enjoy if you ever have to take this lifestyle, whether it be being a nomad, a bohemian, or actually living in a city and being homeless, you know, one thing that you'll notice, you need time. You need peace time, because the whole world is so loud when you're outside that you just need moments where you can't hear anything except for the crickets chirping. So anyways, guys, enjoy the live stream. Let's see if that works. Okay, so somehow, all right, so if it's not one problem, it's another. All right, looks like I got my my audio fixed. So apparently OBS decided to do its thing, and so I hope you guys were able to hear the intro. If you guys weren't, I'm going to go back. I'm going to have to re-listen to all this anyways. So I do apologize for all the mistakes that I'm having this morning. It is what it is, and all right, so what we're going to be getting into. Okay, are we having trouble now again? No, I'm still keeping my stream. Let me see, stream settings. Audio current bitrate, open widget. Suggestion. Okay, so it says that I'm excellent. Okay, it just keeps coming back telling me that my audio bitrate is not working. So if you guys can hear me, please let me know in the chat. Anyways. So we're going to be talking about homelessness and is it a joke? And a lot of this started because I've been having some conversations with somebody who has been telling me, it's like, man, you've got all these fake homeless out here now. And these are people that are veterans like me that have been out for, off and on for 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, stuff like that. Things have really changed over maybe the last 10 to 15 years. And actually, no, things have changed over the last 5 years. A lot of it has to do with the pandemic, with shutdowns and stuff like that. Even the most recent budget, they're throwing a lot of money at the homeless issue and what they consider to be the homeless problem. And it's great and fantastic. The what do you call it? The homeless industrial complex is, they're making out like bandits. I mean, what is it? They get $1.2 trillion per year or something like that, just in donations and contributions from all various sources. I mean, that's a lot of money that goes into taking care of the homeless. And back when I first started, and just to kind of give you a little bit of a contrast, and this is what I was talking about with some of the individuals with me as well, is that, oh man, it looks like I lost everybody. Oh well, it happens. So let's go to analytics. Okay. So you get to pay attention to a lot of different things while you're doing this, not just, not just, you're sitting there and talking. One of these days I will be able to afford to have somebody to come and to do a lot of the background stuff so that I can focus on you guys. But until then, expect me to get distracted from time to time just to pay attention, make sure that the live stream is going good and everything like that. So with that being said, and let me just double check my volume. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's working there. Okay, and I'm not gonna turn on my monitor. Okay, but when I first became homeless, it was there really weren't services. There was like 400 people that were trying to get into the only shelter in town, and there was only 40 beds. And so maybe 10% of the people got in, the other 90% had to go sleep outside. And you either slept around the shelter, which was one of the safe places to sleep if you did not want to get messed with by the cops, or you went and crawled under a bush, or went and slept in, like if you go under a bridge, if you ever get a chance to go out and walk under a bridge, you will see as you go up there, there's a little bit of an area there, and you can actually, there's just enough room so that you can get up under there and sleep. Now, what I will tell you is that because of the way that the bridges are put together, they're kind of like jigsaw puzzles, and when it rains, it will flood your whole area there. But on dry days, dry nights, and stuff like that, most bridges are really good to sleep under there if you need to sleep somewhere in a pinch. And that's just the way that it used to be back in the day. If you wanted to eat, the food lines were very non-existent. Certain regions had food lines, like if you went to the West Coast, you had food lines. If you're up in the upper Northeast, they have food lines, but they really weren't even to the level of what we see here in Ohio, what I've been seeing in my travels. Now, the small cities, they may not be getting any type of assistance because what they're trying to do, and this goes into the 15-minute cities, if you guys are looking into that. So the 15-minute cities are where they want to keep you within 15 minutes. So all your shopping, all your work, everything that you do. And that's another reason for the digital economy, is because if you can work from your home, if you can work from in your pajamas and get work done, why would you need to, waste the gas and the fuel to go and drive 20-30 minutes to get to work, sometimes up to an hour and a half, and then you've got to deal with rush hour traffic. And so by cutting off a lot of the smaller rural cities from a lot of the services that the less fortunate and those that are in a pinch, those people are they're losing out. And they're losing out because they're not getting any funding for services. Food banks are going away, shelters are going away. So if you go out into the rural areas, that's kind of what homelessness used to be like before all this huge influx of money to be able to offer food, other assistance, and other NGOs to come in and assist the homeless population. And that's what's really confusing me is, I understand what it's like to have to struggle to get services. I mean, I've been in places where they feed like 2-3 times a week. They don't feed every single day, and you if you want to eat, you stand inside you stand outside a McDonald's or a Burger King and say, hey, will you buy me a burger? Or you would stand on the street corner and you would say, hey, can you spare some change for food? And people actually needed it for food. I had a guy just a couple days ago, he was trying to spare change me for food, and I'm like, dude, walk up here, they feed you as many times as you want. There's plenty of food. You can get fat out here, and I'm actually gaining weight. Part of it is I'm not nearly as active as I was on trail, and I'm eating a lot more constantly than I was on trail. On trail, I barely ate. Now that I'm in a city, I can eat, and I still travel, and I'm kind of getting that eating routine down, because I still walk at least 7 to 10 miles a day. Just because I'm not out on trail doesn't mean that I'm not hoofing it everywhere that I gotta go. But right now, the way that everything is going as far as the homeless situation and all of that stuff, it's getting to a point where there's such an abundance of resources that if you are homeless, it's by choice in a lot of ways. Because look at it this way: when the pandemic happened, a lot of people got stuck. They were in transit, bus systems got shut down. So if you were on Greyhound, you had to go to the local shelter. If you were at an airport, you had to go to a local hotel room and then a shelter, because you were locked down for long periods of time. I think we were locked down for like 6 weeks. If I remember correctly. And so, I mean, you couldn't afford a hotel room for 6 weeks. You couldn't afford, to live outside of your home and then not to be able to go to work and so on and so forth. So a lot of people just said, well, I have no choice. The $1,200 check was more like a stopgap for some people. But on the other hand, it was because, being self-employed and having a business, with the shutdowns, I wasn't able to get any money because all of my clients shut down. So because I had no money to be able to pay my rent, I was talking to my dad and saying, hey, look, it's not any fault of mine. I can't pay my rent because all my clients shut down, and they're asking to hold off on making payments and stuff like that. And so that $1,200 check came in, just made it so that I could pay my rent and my bills for a month. And luckily I had at the time gotten to a point where I could where I could actually keep my bills low, because I was getting to a point where I needed to work my way out of the field, and so that means you live off of less while you hire other people to do the work that you want to do. And it is what it is. And that is was my experience. Well, there was a lot of people that were in that limbo stage, and now they have decided, well, okay, I can go to a shelter, and so now they're getting they're getting more guaranteed beds, because your average homeless person does not stay in the in a homeless shelter. I mean, they and a lot of times they were a lot more dangerous. Well, they're not as dangerous as they were. There's a lot more order, a lot more structure. But you have people that are housed that are just like, I can live for free and still collect my Social Security, or there's I can make $20-30 here, $20-30 there. I don't really have to make a lot of money, so therefore I can go around to all the free services. Like, I've met a guy, and one of his big things is he likes to go around and he likes to see whatever it is that he can get for free. And I've even watched him, he does what your typical homeless person does, which is they'll come up to you, they'll ask you for something, and if you say no, they'll ask you again and again and again. And they'll figure out different ways to be able to get you to take their to give them what it is that they want, and they're gonna wear you down. That's the way it used to be, and that's what they call aggressive panhandling nowadays. But if you needed to survive, sometimes you had to do something like that. And so, it's like, oh, well, I get free bus tickets. Why do I want to pay for a bus? Oh, I get a free cell phone. Why do I want to pay for a cell phone? Oh, well, I get shelter, and I can stay there as long as I want, because they're not realizing that they've started putting time limits on shelters. They never used to put a time limit on shelters. So there's some guys that would probably be in there for up to 3, 4, 5 years that just would go in there, and they were old, they were disabled, they weren't doing drugs or anything else like that. They were more doped up on the prescription medications that were being given to them, as part of their life sustenance. And so, you would see people like that. They would be in there for like 5 years at a time. And there was never any issue, because most people came in for a couple of nights. When you went into a shelter back in the day, before all this other stuff happened, the way that it would be is you would go in there and you're there to sleep, get a meal, and get a shower. Past that, you're not there to stay up all night on your phone. You're not there to sit there and talk on your phone all night. You're not there to to have munchies all night and just sit there and gorge yourself out. Everybody expected, and there's a general expectation that you went into the shelter, you got a good night's sleep, and you just kept you kept your eyes low, and you didn't pay attention to a lot of stuff, because there was fights and gang activity, and you would have to deal with all kinds of different things that are going on surrounding that environment. Well, when that happened, oh wow, oh wait, no, I've got the time wrong. And just kind of watching how all that went back then, versus now, where it's like, you got guys that are sitting there going, well, I could stay in the shelter for as long as I want, not realizing that now they're giving people 150 days. And if these people don't, they're trying to figure out ways to kindly tell them that you can only stay here for so long. And when it gets to be wintertime, you've got all of those people that are like, oh, well, I can get all this free stuff. I can live for free. I don't have to do anything. I just don't feel like doing anything. And they get to that point, and they just, I don't even really know what to say. They're not really thinking about the long-term effects. When you go into a shelter, especially if you're up north, you are saving your time to go into a shelter. Like during the summer, shelters close out or clear out. There's usually nobody there. Whereas now, I mean, you're struggling to get in, because you have all of these people that are just like, I don't have to work, I don't have to do anything, it's just what it is. And that's why I'm saying that homelessness is becoming a joke, is that the struggles aren't there like they used to be, and that's good to an extent, but now there's so many different opportunities, so many different ways to be able to get up on your feet, to get access to resources. I remember being in Houston and going to the United Way and saying, "Look, I'm homeless. There's no shelters here in the city." And well, there was one shelter, but everybody says, "No, no, no, no. You definitely don't want to go there. Not unless you know, if you don't value your life, you go there. But if you value your life, don't go there because there's just too much going on." And so, you know, going to the United Way and say, "Hey, look, man, I need some help. You know, what can you do? Can you put me, you know, help me find a job? You know, put me in with some of your contacts that you may have." And they're like, "Do you have a drug problem?" No. I mean, I smoke. You know, I smoke from time to time. And he's like, that's not, you know, unless you're doing crack or meth or heroin, you know, we're really not interested. And so I couldn't even get access to basic services because, you know, of just where I was and what I was doing. And, you know, being there in Houston, I mean, I had a job. I had somebody that I was able to get an interview. But the thing is once the guy found out that I was sleeping on the streets and that I was trying to work my way off, well, he's like, "No, I'm sorry, we can't hire you. There's no more spot open." And you can't, being homeless isn't necessarily a protected class unless you argue it under creed. Now, if you want to argue that being homeless is a creed because it is a community, then, you know, you could argue that, and it may actually work for you. Okay, so with that being said, if you guys have any questions, ask them in chat. That's what chat is here for. Okay, I am here to answer your questions. This is a live Q&A. I'm just kind of giving you my perspective and a topic while I wait for you guys to ask me questions. So don't be afraid to ask questions. There's a lot of stuff that has changed over the last, you know, decade that, you know, if you've ever been homeless before, things have completely changed. You know, just the abundance of food. You cannot go hungry between food stamps and the food lines, and at least here in the Cincinnati area, if you go hungry, if you're saying, "Oh, I'm hungry, I need food," you're full of it. Either that or you're too lazy and you think that somebody should bring it to you. I mean, you got to go get it, but it's there for you. You know, and just seeing all this happen, it's just the way that it used to be versus the way it is now. You have a large section of society that could afford to get up off of the streets, because if you're collecting SSI out here, you automatically qualify for low-income housing. The shelters get all kinds of kickbacks or some sort of funding. They get extra money for getting those people that are on Social Security off of the streets, because that's where a lot of your dumb stuff happens. So now that it's the first of the month, from the 1st until probably around the 7th to the 10th, depending upon how many military veterans you have, it could be as late as the 15th, because they get $2,500 a month, while the Social Security recipient gets about $900 a month. I'm not sure if that is something that has gone up, but I know that, you know, my mom was getting like $900 a month. You might be getting more, but the thing is that there's a huge difference. And what they do as soon as the first comes, the shelters clear out. You know, they're out there doing their fun stuff. You know, finding their women, doing their dope. You know, a lot of the veterans, because they get enough money, they actually go and put themselves in a hotel room. And then once their money runs out, they go back out on the corner and they start begging and start going, "Well, hey, you know, I need this, I need that. You know, please help me. I'm poor, I'm destitute. You know, please help me." And that has been the way that it's always been, at least because I saw that in San Francisco, and that's what really disgusted me about you know, what was going on within my community, the homeless community. Now, homelessness, the reason why I say it, because there's a lot of people out there, and this is another thing that's making it a joke, is that you have people out there that are going, "Oh, well, you know, you're homeless, you know, and homeless is a mindset. I'm a transient," or "Oh, I'm a bohemian," or "Oh, you know, I'm this," or "I'm that," and they don't realize that, okay, this is a government standard. The government has decided that you are homeless. You are without a home. Okay, show me where your lease is, and then I won't call you homeless. I will call you poor. Okay, and poor is yet another term that we need to redefine, or that we need to really take a moment in to delve into it. Now, statistically, or the way that the government counts us, is we are called homeless. Now, you can call yourself a transient. Well, a transient is just another name for homeless. Hobo is another name for homeless. Bohemian is another name. It's a derivative of homelessness, but it is a group of people that were nomadic by nature and would travel around, and they, a lot like how the Jews did in the early days, where they kept getting kicked out of countries, and so they would go and migrate around. But these were Slavics, so we're talking about Ukraine and Belarus and parts of Russia and the old USSR. That is your Bohemians, but those people are still, by today's standards, considered homeless. Now, you're always going to have homeless. You're always going to have those people that just either they're too messed up psychologically. Okay, that is the primary people that will always be homeless. You get to a point where you cannot take care of yourself. We keep saying that we have all these government services, but they're still not addressing the real problem. It's just that everybody's lining their pockets, and this is something that I think is an issue. Okay, it is. I don't know how else to say it. Is that you have people that need to be in a structured environment for their own benefit. There's a guy that is so far gone that I see there, and he's been there for a while, I'm sure. And he sits there and he raps and he does his own thing, and I think he's bipolar and either schizophrenic or delusional. And that's not a good combination, because the guy is so stuck with what's going on in his head that he can't even get a firm grasp on reality. As much as we would like to be compassionate towards people like that, one of the things that you really got to think about as a solution within the homeless community is those people have to be given a place to live, whether they go into one of these mental institutions. But then again, those mental institutions, just like with the school districts attract those that are predators, in the same way that any profession attracts its version of predators, whether it be in the police force, those people that are run by their ego, that are on power trips. You can't tell me nothing. Those type of people that should probably never even be a police officer are being attracted to it because of what the high that the job gives them. And same thing with when it comes to the school district. It attracts people who like children, and in the same way that you have it within the medical community, these people, nobody listens to them because, oh, well, you're just disabled, or oh, you're mentally retarded, or oh, you're this, no, you're that. So automatically anything that they say is automatically discounted, which allows and leaves the door open for those that want to be abusive towards those patients. And if we're going to fix the system, then we need to fix the system as a whole, because these people need to go into institutions. And so what happened is, during the 80s, we found out what was going on, and so we said, oh, we're just going to go from one extreme to the other. Instead of putting them in a mental institution and sterilizing them, we're going to let them out and roam and procreate and like a bunch of rabbits. Okay, so they went from one extreme to the other, and now we have all these homeless because they're now self-medicating, because they just with the drugs and everything else that's going on there, they're self-medicating themselves because they're not disciplined, nor are they in a point where they as individuals have the ability to really think for themselves like they should. And because of this, you have these individuals that are now completely far gone. There are lists within the police department where this person is so crazy we can't even detain him in jail. If you get that crazy, they will actually do that for you. That's just something that I've got to witness. My couple of times going to the city jail is when you're in holding before you get transferred to the main jail. If you look around, you'll see some stuff like, pictures of people that, okay, do not arrest this person, do not detain this person, because they're too far gone and we can't deal with them, not even in the legal system. Okay, those are the people that should be put in mental institutions with proper humane care, but they're not getting it, because we as a people, we just want to go from one extreme to the other. We don't want to actually offer any solutions. We just go, oh, let's do this. Oh, well, that didn't work. Oh, we're going to stop doing it. Well, there are parts of it that worked and parts of it that didn't. If you take what it is that you have and just kind of, work from a base point, having these people in institutions was important. The way that they were being taken care of and the way that they were being discounted when they were saying things because of all the things that were going on. And a lot of your mental hospitals are considered haunted places just because of the heinous things that would go on in there, including electroshock therapy. Okay, so you have all of that, all of that, but we could sit there and work from there and fix the problems instead of going, oh, everybody in an institution, oh, well, we're just going to let them all out and roam the streets. Well, what do you do with that? And again, these are the types of people that you will see. You will also see people that go, that will get, what's the word I'm looking for? You have people that are, as individuals, that they get sick, okay, and this is why the doctors have to have a DEA license now, is because they were overprescribing the wrong medication, and those individuals were not able to they weren't able to function. They became addicts, and so now, because they were given opiates, now they transition over to heroin or other prescription drugs, or because they were given Adderall, now they've become meth addicts because they were wrongly diagnosed without a proper diagnosis. And you have things like that, and so you have that's the second type of people that you will always have out there, because the system itself is perfect. It is the people that operate within the system that are not perfect, and that is something that we as individuals really need to be thoughtful of. Okay, so now I know I'm saying a lot of stuff that may sound more like a lecture and stuff like that, but and I know that sometimes you guys are in and out, but if you guys have any questions, don't forget to ask any questions. If you guys are looking to for more content like this, tell me what it is that you guys want to know, because I've been doing this off and on for so long. I think that everybody knows this, and I'm not quite sure how you as individuals, are you planning on it, or are you just here as a sympathizer? Are you looking at this going, this is something that I want to do, and so I need to learn the ropes? What is it that you're trying to accomplish by understanding what's going on with the homeless? Because it is, a lot has changed. Again, you have abundance of resources. I'm actually able to get medical care. I am actually able to get all the food that I need. I'm not going to starve, even if I have to go a half a day without eating. Okay, all these different things, and it is what it is. But it's just the people are soft. It is becoming a lifestyle, and when you have the bottom 30% of society that is going to end up coming outside, what percentage of that bottom 30% is going to have enough gumption to be able to get up on their feet, or are they just going to sit there and go, well, why do I have to do anything? It's all taken care of for me. And this is something that we as a nation, as a community, need to actually address, because what happens when you have these people come out, they're taking resources from those that really truly need it, and it takes a problem that really shouldn't be a problem and turns it into an even worse problem, because these individuals, they just don't want to, they don't want to get up on their feet because it's too easy. People are going to take the path of least resistance, and they're going to take the easy route. It is, you could call it part of the human condition. And, it's great and fantastic until all of a sudden it gets so far out of control that you get something like LA. And you're going to see the rest of the country turn into something like LA. Okay? And that's just the way it's going to be. Now, for those of you that have been watching, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream a little bit early because I don't want to keep rambling. If you are watching this in instant replay, I've added a new shirt to the to my shop if you want to go check it out. It's called the Homeless States of America. Be the solution. And I may update the design a little bit moving forward to have something on the back of the shirt, but on the front, it's just. I think it's decent. It is what it is. But so I've got a new shirt going on there. Let's see. I am going to be working with an individual. We're going to be cross-pollinating our channels. He is into like going to the different breweries and the different places. So on Tuesday, him and I are going to go and do some do a shoot. And so when that happens, I might bring for next week's live stream, I will bring a little bit of that in as a teaser, just to kind of show you guys what we're doing over there. Part of what I'm doing to kind of help you guys and to, put you in a position where, if you end up out here, you're in a better position than most. You've already got your foundation laid. As I run across other people that are trying to do channels, this isn't the first person, and it won't be the last person, but I'm trying to assist them in growing their channel as it being a form of income for them. Okay, and it is what it is. I don't know how else to say it. And I'm also working with a couple of individuals. Hopefully I get one of them to actually really run with this whole digital economy, so that, because I've got so much on my plate, I'm to the point now where I want to do the street sheets, but I can't do the street sheets. Part of the reason why I can't do the street sheets is because I've got 2 channels to manage. And if I kind of let them go a little bit or take back time, what's going to end up happening is it's going to cost me in the long run. That's why I've been struggling as is. The other thing is just there are if I continue doing it after dealing with that Karen in a couple of days ago, I'm either going to end up in jail or on the front page, just because I won't tolerate being bullied just because they don't like the homeless. So for those of you that watched that Karen video, and here's something as a bonus for you guys, for those of you that watched it, after I got done recording, maybe like 10-15 minutes later, here comes the like a whole team of lawyers and business owners, because of the little shops that are around there, along with the security guard. They're like, you need to move, you need to move. I said, no, I have every legal right to be here. This is my First Amendment. I have the right to be able to do this. Secondly, I am a vendor and I am operating under their license, which gives me the ability to sell these papers or to collect donations. I'm on a public sidewalk, and I'm not interfering with traffic, so I have every legal right to be here. Well, if we allow you to be here, then there's going to be a whole string of homeless. Well, right now I am in the works, going through the grapevine, trying to see if I can get 5 or 10 guys that are willing to just go up there and put up their signs. I'll go sell my papers and have like a couple of guys on each side of me, panhandling, and just to show these guys, it's more or less just to be an asshole, more than anything, because oh my God, because these are like 5-star restaurants. They're not cheap restaurants. It's where the well-to-do go, and I just happened to stumble upon it, and just because I was looking at the different restaurant. And so these well-to-dos, they don't want to see the product of what it is that they're doing. They don't want to see, their policies, their need for greed, and their inability to manage the economy appropriately, so that it benefits all and is fair to all. They are now getting to see the ramifications of their actions, and they just don't want to see it. I mean, they have their money, and they should be able to just pay to make this problem go away. Well, you know what? You can keep doing that until eventually you run into somebody that's just not willing to stand there and take it. And the scariest thing in the world is a guy who has nothing left to lose, and I have nothing left to lose. I mean, other than my channel, which kind of keeps me from going full bore, but as an individual,
I look at it and go, I got nothing left to lose. I've lost everything that I had. At this point in time, I want to at least, change the conversation. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. But, that's been going on. Let's see what else has. So, yeah, that's why I'm not going to do the street sheets. Now, I do want to go and I want to write for them because I already do the articles for the website. And that's one thing, is because I've been focusing on trying to do that and get situated with that, and also teach these other individuals. It's not allowing me the time to be able to write the articles that I need to write. So I gotta trim out the fat in the things that I'm committing to, so that I can commit to the things that are going to be the most effective. This is going to be the most effective because this is a platform that goes out to the world and can be seen publicly. And also with the website, that is a place that can go out and be seen by the world publicly. It gives me a platform to be able to not only discuss homelessness, but being responsible while being homeless. As an individual, just because you sleep with the pigs doesn't mean you need to wallow in the mud with them. Just because you lose everything doesn't mean you need to lose your dignity, doesn't mean that you need to lose who you are as an individual. Okay? And, it is what it is again. But this is the message that I'm really trying to put out, is that just because you're in this situation does not mean that all is lost. It does not mean, even when the whole economy collapses and we go into the Great Depression and the Great Dispossession, there still is hope. Because out here, loss of hope is what keeps you out here. Because if you're out here for longer than 60 days, it'll take you 18 months to get off the streets. If you're out here for I think it's a year, it's going to take you 2 to 5 years to get off the streets. And if you're out here for more than 2 years, then your likelihood of ever getting off the streets will be nil. Well, everybody has the ability to change. Now, it's a small probability that you can get off, but again, it's whether or not you have the drive, the desire to change the things in which you're doing to move yourself to being a more responsible within the homeless community. Use it as a tool to navigate. The resources and the benefits are there, but it doesn't mean that you just sit there and go, oh, I got all this free stuff, I don't have to do anything, because that is what is destroying the whole homeless community to begin with. Because the amount of drug users that are out there are being completely diluted. So okay, ads will play shortly for some viewers. Okay, but it is what it is. I'm gonna skip the ads for this one, but it just, as individuals, if we're in the situation, we need to realize it's temporary. You need to have hope, because without hope, you'll be out here forever. That is the number one killer. And what keeps people homeless the longest is that they lose hope, is that they quit figuring out new ways to be able to be able to become productive, to be able to get back what it is that they had. See, me, I had a business. Well, I will never get my janitorial business back, and I don't want to go work for someone. I want to work for me. So what do? I have chosen, and this is my way of keeping hope, and not only keeping hope, but just keeping things going, is to look at what's going on and figure out my own way to be able to support myself, because there's a million ways to skin a cat. I'm just showing you the ways that are going to be easy with the least amount of of opposition in that point. So for those of you guys that have stuck around or that have showed up here towards the end, thank you for showing up. I truly appreciate it. If you guys have anything that you would like me to talk about, be sure to ask in chat or to leave a comment. If you come in late, make sure to go back and watch it from the beginning. I will have to edit out. I did have some issues with volume and voice, and I think I have fixed it, but I will find out after this live stream, and I will edit out probably the first 10 minutes before my intro starts for those of you that have been watching during the live stream. but but for those of you that come in afterwards and watch it after the fact, understand that the first 10 minutes were taken away, and so just pay attention, and thanks for watching. You know how to help the channel. Leave me a like. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I love your comments. I love hearing what you guys have to say. Also, if you haven't hit that bell notification, hit that bell notification. And last but not least, if you want to help the channel out in other ways, such as going through my affiliate links, and all that other stuff, it's all down in the description. Plus some of the gear that I recommend. You should always check the description, because that will have what it is that I use, or that I intend on using should I get the opportunity to use that. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of my community, and I look forward to seeing you next week.